Welcome to week 3. What we're going to be doing this week, we're finally doing a real dive into how to approach literature in the way that we're going to do it, which is close reading, this kind of analysis. Up to now, we've talked about literature in kind of a general way. We've talked about genres and what counts as literature. Guys, you've done the CSI exercise. So everything that we're doing is basically that. So I want you to keep that in mind going from now on, because it's easy to get overwhelmed when we talk about how do I use setting as a way to break apart the story, or how do I use symbolism as a way to break apart the story. It's easy to forget that this is something we've already done. So every time we approach a story, you are the lawyer who's putting together this case, okay? The theory that you're going to come up with, that's basically what you'd be presenting to a judge or jury. The pieces of evidence that you would have to back up that theory, that's the details from the text that you would normally be able to find. So the pieces of setting that we're going to talk about, how would I, as a lawyer, normally create, some sort of elaborate thing that I would present to a jury? I know thing's not a very academic word, but you'll have to forgive me. So if I'm presenting a case to a jury and I want to say, Jim Bob murdered Sandra Dee, and here's this evidence from the setting, that might be a piece of hair that's left behind. That might be the fact that the air conditioning's running, but it's 30 degrees outside. That's setting detail. That's the kind of stuff we're going to look for in our short story. It's no different. Symbolism. That might, he hasn't seen Sandra Dee for 30 years, but he's got a tattoo of her on his arm. I mean, that's the kind of thing. It's all the same. If you can do it in a CSI exercise, if you can watch a crime show and figure out who done it and put all these pieces together, you can do it here. It's the same exact thing. So I want you guys to keep that in mind as you go forward, because sometimes students get really overwhelmed because they just don't realize it's a skill that they already have. They're just not used to applying it in this different way. And that's really what I want you guys to learn over the course of this semester, that it's not just literature that we're applying this to. It's any kind of problem set. It's any kind of data set that we have to form a theory about. That's the skill that we're practicing, okay? So yeah, we're going to talk about it in terms of setting, and we're going to talk about it in terms of symbolism this week, and hopefully that'll make it a lot more fun for you guys to read and interact with different kinds of texts. But ultimately, you should be able to apply this theory to any kind of problem set that you have. And that's what we're going to do, and I really look forward to doing it with you.